They saw what was going on in the world as children like my sister Judy were being treated, children like her who were blind and had multiple disabilities. They would be institutionalized, where the kids were strapped down to the bed because they soiled themselves, or they wouldn't eat when they were supposed to, or wouldn't eat properly, or it was just terrible. It was an awful thing to witness. As Judy was growing up, they tried to find a place for her. I mean, they knew that she didn't fit well into the family environment, because children like Judy or children like the kids here at Hope, they literally can tear a family apart. It's just extremely difficult. So their idea was to find a place like no other, literally in the world, because they looked in England and they talked to people abroad, and there was no place for a child like Judy who had multiple disability or multiple handicaps, as they phrased it back then. It was really kind of an experiment. And it started with just literally my sister and my grandmother. My grandmother was the first caretaker. They brought in a number of educators. They brought in people to teach the kids music. They had nurses on call, I think, or probably even on staff. So at one point they got to the point where there's about 15 plus kids, and there was more coming. And they just realized that the whole thing was just outgrowing what they thought it was going to be. I think that's when they realized that it could be something that would be pretty significant.
Over 60 years, Hope's impact has been on tens of thousands of children, young adults, and adults through the state of Illinois. This is a milestone, and to be in service that long to the population we serve is a credit to this agency and the things it's survived through the years. And we've been able to adapt and actually build on that for the future, and we plan on being here for another 60 years. We got some of the most dedicated, hardworking staff, frontline workers, all the way up to administration, who are passionate about what they do and are very knowledgeable. I think it has really helped Hope and guided Hope through those 60 years, and will continue to guide us, focusing on more community-based models and least restrictive models. So that means pushing ourselves out into the community, getting to children when they're younger instead of when they're preteen, which was typically when somebody would be referred to our school or residential program, but going younger, focusing on preschool so we can create those greater outcomes so the children can stay in those what they call least restrictive environments, which means they're home. Our young adults are adults that we're job coaching and training so they can have meaningful work and like everybody else, like you and I. They deserve that, and they can do it. We want to make sure people understand that we're Hope, and we'll provide a full spectrum of services for children and young adults with autism and other developmental disabilities, but it's not an institution. It'll be very community-based, and we'll offer a variety.
They were looking for hope. They were looking for something. And since they couldn't find it, they decided to build their own. But I don't really think at that time they had any idea that I would be sitting here 60 years later celebrating what they've been doing. When you consider the thousands of kids and families that they've helped, that my sister's helped, all because of her.